Hello everyone and welcome back to the channel, and I hope you guys are doing great. In my today's video, I'm going to discuss with you about a company called AXISCADES Technologies Limited. We're going to go through their recent result and see how well they have done and the important points from the con call and see how they are working towards to achieve their guidance and what is their goal for FI 2030. But before we get into the business, right, let me just explain you and give you a brief what does the company does. So actually, if you look at the legacy business, right, so they were mostly into engineering services, and then they entered into defense, aerospace, and semiconductor manufacturing and all those facilities. So these are the business models. So what they have tried to do, right? So they are divesting from the old engineering services model. They are selling it to a different company, and the divisions that they're going to keep it with them are defense, aerospace, XiDA. I'll explain that later, and their new division, which is the space division. So this is their main business model. And when I will take you through their recent result, right? So the numbers will be divided into two parts. So one is the overall revenue from the old operations, which are still part of it, which is in the process of divesting. And by end of Q2 FY27, the process should be complete and the continued operation. So we'll go through all that thing. So if you look over here, right? The total revenue, if we it was around 346.7 crores, which was 42.4% an increment YOY basis. But this includes the old business which is in the process of selling and the new business. So we'll concentrate mostly on the continued operations. So if you look at the bottom, right, so the revenue for the continued operations grew by almost 183 it was around 183 crores, grew by almost 94 percent YOY. And if you look from quarter on quarter perspective also, it grew by almost 68.4%. And if you look at their EBITDA margin, it was quite less. And the company, if you for the continued operation, they reported a loss of around close to 7.1 crores. But if you look at the bottom, right, if they look at the normalized EBITDA and margin, they actually made a profit. So over here, I'll try to explain to you what the management said on the con call. Right? So what the management said, right, as the disinvestment is going on, right? So there are a lot of costs which are overlapping. So because of this continued disinvestment which is happening, so there are certain things which the business has to unwind from their balance sheet as per the rules and regulation. And at the back of it, of these accounting practices, they have to, the cost has to be incurred, and they have reported a loss. But if we take that aside, this continued business is definitely reported a profit. So that's actually a good sign. And if you look further and see how this overall revenue of 180 crore was divided between the various business segments that they are going through. So if you look over here, right, so as I said, the continued business had a revenue of around close to 180 crores. Defense contributed to almost 125 crores, and XiDA, which is their technology division, contributed to around 49.5 crores. And the aerospace, which is the services part, they have sold and they are entered into the manufacturing, which is work in progress. Over there, they have made a revenue of around 6. If you look from the profitability perspective, um, Defense Solution was profitable and an EBITDA margin of around 2.1%. Their XiDA, which is the technology platform, had an EBITDA margin of around close to around 29.7%. And the aerospace division, the disinvestment of the services and starting of the manufacturing facility, because of these disinvestment investment going on, they were, if you look at it, the EBITDA was quite negative over here. So we can clearly see from the businesses that they have attained, and as per their earlier guidance and everything, the defense is doing quite good. XiDA is providing the revenue, and the aerospace will continue to add to the revenue in the coming quarters. So I'll go into all these divisions separately, and I'll give you more details to see how this division has done and what the management has said on the con call about it. So if you look at the defense divisions over here, one of the most important thing is over here is the assured forecast visibility. So over here, what has happened? They already have you can call it like a order book, which the orders that they have won close to around 4,350 crores, and 332 crore was added. So total, if you look at it, their overall assured forecast visibility is around 4,557 crores. So that is actually quite a good sign. Currently, if I just look at their revenue, excluding the old business, and just take their current businesses, which is includes defense, aerospace, XiDA, and the space which they're going to start. The revenue was close to around 800 to 900 crores last year. So imagine having an assured forecast visibility of around 4,500 crores. That clearly shows that they can literally grow their revenue by easily by four times just from the defense perspective. And over here, if you look over here, they have won quite a few new projects. They won around 30 kilowatt laser technical solution, then missile subsystem purchase orders, mobile firing platform, and 30 mobile metal system. And the post the balance sheet, right? So they have anti-tank missiles, onboard computers, missile programs, which is PCM encoders, Uttam radar, and marine helicopter. So all these things, right, are going to contribute to their revenue. And for this, the new Devanhalli corridor, which is getting done, right? So that will also start get operational by Q1 of FY28 and will start contributing to the revenue. And what the management has said, right, that the defense segment alone will grow uh, around 75% YOY from FY27. So they're just what they're saying is the growth for FY27 just from the defense division would be around 75%. And it will not just be for year, it will be the growth will continue for the next couple of years. And if you look at their technology division, which is the XiDA over here, what they had done is right, they had acquired one of the companies in the US. So the most important updates over here is right. So they have got a contract with the world largest semiconductor equipment manufacturer, and one of the world's largest AI and hyper scaling technology companies also has become their customers. So that is actually quite a good sign. So whatever that they are manufacturing over here, from the semiconductors to the things that are required by these data centers, they'll be able to provide for them. So over here, what the management has said on the XiDA Technologies, right, that they are confident that this business can grow 100% YOY for the next few years, and they don't see any challenge with it. And if you look at their aerospace division, right, so over here, as I said, they did the this investment of their services part, and they've entered into the manufacturing. So what the management is saying, right, that for the FY27, that the aerospace division is going to contribute to a revenue of around close to 100 and at this point of time, if we take the analyzed revenue, it's around 180 crores. And by the end of FY27, this division will be able to contribute to around 375 crore plus. Over here, after defense, if you look at it, the aerospace is the next big division which is contributing to the revenue. Then obviously comes XiDA, and XiDA is, I would say, is one of their gems, because the margins over here that they have is quite high over here. And if we speak about the new division which they're starting about is space, which they said is a new growth platform. As of now, they haven't given any date about when the business will start generating revenue or anything, and no specific update. But what they said on the con call is right, that in the month of September they'll share more details during Bangalore Space Expo and World Space Business Week in Paris. So over here, this will help to expand their future growth. So if you look at their result from the perspective, right, especially in the continued business, it is actually quite well. They grew by almost 92%, and the management is saying that the defense division will grow for around 75% YOY for the next few years. The XiDA division can grow by almost 100%. Aerospace division will contribute to around 375 plus crore revenue for FY27. So let's look at the guidance what the management has given in Q4 of FY26, and whether they are still able to maintain it in Q1 of FY27. So management still said that they are on track to achieve a revenue target of 1,377 crores for FY27. And if we just take it from the continued operation, that is a growth of almost 52%, and they'll be able to maintain an EBITDA margin of around 25 to 27%. So they are still confident about it. And if you look, they are expecting to grow by almost 52%. But in this quarter alone, they did revenue growth of almost around 90%. So if they are able to continue this, I think they should be easily able to achieve their target in the coming quarters. And at the same time, whatever the disinvestment that they're doing and from the sale which is going to happen, the proceeds is also going to help. And these proceeds, what the management has said, right, will be used in order to fund for the future growth. They are not looking to dilate the equity further or take any loans, loans from a bank to fund the growth. But whatever this investment money will get generated, that will be utilized for all the capex that is required and for the growth of defense, aerospace, then space as well as XiDA. And so that is actually quite a good sign because management still continuing with the guidance and being confident to achieve it, that shows that they're very confident in what they are doing. And if you look at the screen over here, right, so they have something called as Power 930. So over here, as per this, what the management is saying, right, they want to achieve a revenue of 9,000 crores by FY 2030 and have a profit of around close to around 960 960 crores. So this is actually quite a very, very big target for them. And obviously, the questions I still remember in Q4 of FY26 con call, the question was asked by someone that how come just from 1,000 crores we can close to reach around 9,000 crores in just few years? What the management said earlier, they were only in designing part. Now they are getting into manufacturing, and when that happens, generally the revenue jumps from almost 10 to 20 times. So overall, the result was quite good. And obviously, there were some questions related to profitability. And over here in the con call, management gave a quote. So I'll just quote it from what they said. They said, in closing, I will say the results declared are expensive for a quarter, but will compound over the next 40 quarters. So they said, yes, because of this investment, what is happening, there are certain costs involved at the back of it. We had to take a hit and there was no profit. But what they're saying, at the same time, what they're trying to achieve will compound for the next 40 quarters. So that is, so this clearly shows the confidence from the management. Let's see and hope how well they do. Obviously, I'll keep it track on every quarter and see how they're performing. And in terms of valuation, if I take, right, so, and obviously valuation is sometimes subjective. I don't give too much, how to say, importance to the valuation, but I do still keep an eye. And if I take for Axis case, right, if I take their profit of 960 crores by 2030, and if I take their market cap at this point of time, and if I divide it, right, the company is available at a P of around 7 to 8. See, one of the mistakes that we as retail investors do is like when we go and check a company, we look at the P, what is right now, and we think it is expensive. If anyone looks at the P of AXISCADES right now at 210, they'll be like, okay, hey, this is too expensive, man. I don't want to invest it. But that's where the mistakes are made. One has to look where the business is going and not what the business is or where the business was. And if you look at the future, and if the company is obviously there is a lot of ifs and buts, and if the future has to go as per plan, but if the company is able to achieve their revenue PAT target of revenue target of 9,000 crores and a PAT target of close to 960 crores by FY 2030, then currently at this point of time, the stock is available at a P of just between 7 to 8, which if you personally ask me is quite a good deal. But don't invest on just on my don't invest on my recommendation. It's just educational purposes video. Please do check with your investment advisors and then only take the decision. And if you guys like this video and the analysis, please do hit like and subscribe to my channel. Thank you and God bless you.